Hi, today we're going to build an AI calorie tracker inside of Xano, the no-code backend. And we're going to do the backend part of that. We're going to create a simple API where the user will be able to upload a photo of their meal, and it will give the user an estimate of how many carbs, how many protein, how many all those kinds of vitamins, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, how much all of that is in their meal, so they can kind of like get an estimate and, you know, track their health and their eating habits. Now, there is an application out there called Calorie that essentially uses AI to analyze that. And, you know, why should we pay for that? We are no-code developers. We can build this ourselves in seconds. So I already got plenty of meals prepared here from Google. And now we're going to create a little API on the back end to count our calories. So let's create a new API endpoint, and let's call this Calorie, and we're going to make a post request for that, right? We're going to save this, and what do we need? We do need an image input. So I'm going to go to storage, and I'm going to do image. Actually, we're going to add file resource. My bad. We're going to add a file resource, and I'm going to add meal. I'm just calling that meal, and it's going to be required. Now I'm going to import an external API request, and I'm going to import the curl. Now I'm going to go to OpenAI, to their API reference, and we're going to use image input right here. We're going to copy this. We're going to go back to Xano. We're going to paste this inside of here, import, and I want to adjust the max tokens a little bit. Let's do 1,000 as an example. We can apply this here. And now, as you can see, we have the model. We got the latest one. We got the messages, user, and we're going to put the content, what is in the image. We want to adjust that a little bit. We need to adjust the prompt here. We will say, give me, let's say, return, let's say, analyze the image and give me an estimate of the macros of this meal of the meal in the photo. Return structured JSON data as text. I'm going to extend this. Return structured JSON data as text. No other explanations. There you go. Analyze the image. I don't know how to write analyze right now because it is very hot and my brain is at capacity for today, so I'm just going to say scan the image. Now we get that right inside of here. And now let's go to Claude. It opens always a specific chat where I'm asking about iOS 18. Let's open Claude. Oh, let's try opening that. There you go. And let's say, give me an example JSON format of macros for a meal, including for macros for a meal and micro for a meal and micronutrients. There you go. So I want to have a structure so I can put this in the system prompt, so the AI always gives us a specific structure. Name, salmon with quinoa and vegetables, serving size, total calories, macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, unit G, breakdown saturated. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Macronutrients, vitamins, A. Make sure that the macros are in an array for easy rendering. We want to enhance the structure because arrays tend to be easier to render, right? So the macronutrients are in an array. That makes it easier for us to render those. We have the name, right? Complex carbs. Then we got the vitamins. I'm going to add one thing. Add net carbs as well. You know, in case anybody's on keto here. So we got net carbs as well. Tara can use it from our community. Tara, if you see this, I'm building your idea. There you go. So we got meal, and it's going to respond to that. And now I want to clean that out. I want to say, don't return meal, just do the object. Oh, I think we got something with the AI going on here. Ooh. Interesting. It seems unresponsive. Oh yeah, let's exit the page. I think there has been an issue with the AI. Let's just do the object no meal colon. I just want the bare bone object of that, so it's easier for rendering. Yeah, that's exactly how I want that. Macronutrients. I got fat and I got amount. And does it great. And you see how it adds some lag when the AI streams while you're screen recording? Oh, God. Sometimes streaming is not the best way to integrate this in your product, actually. It's not nice for people who are trying to film your product. Let's reload the page so it kind of like cleans up all the issues with memory. Oh, yeah, that's laggy. I just copy the JSON. Okay, let's close that. Wow, their page is very slow. Okay, let's keep editing here. And let's just do a pause here because I think something is draining all my resources. As it turns out, I had Xcode open and that loves to take all your resources. But now we can go back to the prompt here and I can say return the analyzed, the scanned nutrition values exactly in this response format JSON from this example response template. Follow it one to one. Follow it one to one. There you go. And I'm going to close this and check. And now I got my prompt. We're now officially a senior prompt engineer. There you go. I got the content in here. Now I'm going to do type image URL, and now we need to have an image URL. Now I don't know how many macronutrients the Wikipedia logo will have, but we need to adjust a few things before we even get there. Now we got the API key again, so I want to change the type, and I got this open API key. I can just copy this if I want and add, oh, not expression, my bad, and I can just add a filter of replace, and I will look for this specific text and I will replace it with my open API key, my open AI API key, which I already have deleted. Actually I haven't deleted from the other video. Let's use this one from the other video. If you haven't watched the other video, what we did is we just started as an environment variable. So you can do this under settings, and then we can just go to environment variables and we can do open, let's go environment variables. or had a ChatGPT, right? I call it ChatGPT. Okay, now we have it in here. Now I should be able to save this, and I think let's do 27 seconds so we have a bigger time frame. Let's try running this. And right now we don't need to upload an image. We do because it's a required field, but let's just upload a random CSS file for now. Because right now we're just getting the image from the URL. So right now it should return us the carbs of, I don't know, a photo of a forest or something. Let's see. We'll wait a little bit. Okay, what are we getting? We are getting this back. Macronutrients, protein, 0 grams. I mean, it's accurate. So now we're getting this payload back, right? And now we want to turn this into JSON, because right now it just gives us text, right? So what we need to do is we need to create a variable here. And we're going to go to variable name, and I will call this JSON. I will go to my API, I'll take the response property, I'll go to result, I'll go to choices, I go to properties, and I'll take the message, and I'll take the content. Now I want to add JSON encode, oh no, as JSON text, JSON decode. Let's apply. Let's try returning the JSON value, because this is what we then want to show and what we can read and, you know, integrate with our front end if we want. And let's see what is happening. It's not analyzing the image that is not being properly inputted for now, but it's going to load a little bit and we're going to see some cool stuff coming back in a little bit. Okay, and now it's of course going to say that there is an issue parsing it, which of course makes sense. Probably incorrectly encoded. So what we actually need to do, because we're getting it back as JSON text, we would actually need to change this filter to be probably JSON encode. If not, we need to ask ChatGPT to give us this JSON encoded, just to make working with it easier. But it will probably do the trick, if we're going to just JSON encode this and us have it generated, and then we may be able to JSON decode it, and that's kind of like how we go around some of those limitations that are imposed to us by, you know, some of the protections by using reserved filters in Xano. And now, as you can see, we are decoding it, and I'm afraid that this will destroy some of the format, but we'll try it. Let's go under the encode and let's do a JSON decode. And if that doesn't do the thing, we'll just enhance the prompt that goes into ChatGPT. That should be fine. Oh yeah, you see how it just, I mean, what does it respond to us? I mean, I think it did respond more. I think we're just cutting out everything. Let's see. Let's wait a little bit. Oh, it takes a little bit to analyze it. Oh no, actually, we are not getting this as valid JSON at all. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to just add JSON decode, and then we got to get this into the prompt. So let's go to the prompt here. JSON, let's do string of, let's do JSON stringified, JSON encoded string. Return a scan in exactly this response format from the example as JSON stringified text. And now we need to take this response and we'll go to one of those websites that offer JSON stringify online. So we can paste this in here. We'll JSON stringify this. Okay, because I want to parse it, and that's probably going to make it easier. We're going to enter this, I'm going to apply, We are going to save. And let's try that. So I want to kind of like, AI can also, I'm curious. Is this actually giving us valid JSON? And what happens if I remove the stringify? Because it does seem to be, it could also be, oh yeah, it does give us actually stringified text now. So I should be able to have that filter on. I think maybe actually our method was working before, but what's just concerning me a little bit is that I don't see it formatted. So let's try copying this. And let's try pasting this inside of here. I mean, it does look like JSON, and it seems to be working. But normally, it should... Let's try decoding it, and then let's do encoding it. Let's actually, I want to try something. I want to do an experiment. Let's create a variable called return. I want to see if it adds it as text or not. Let's add an object in here. Let's add a set filter. Let's call this data. And inside of here, we're going to put this JSON inside of here. If it puts it in quotes, this is it will show us that this is detected as text. If it doesn't put it in quotes, it shows us that this is detected as JSON. So we'll see. Because I think we have some issues. You see how it puts it? It doesn't... I think we have some issues here now. This is getting parsed. Ooh, okay. Let's see how Xano's... Actually, let's do a little thing. Let's go to JSON stringify here. Let's copy this, right? And let's do a little experiment. Let's go this here. We'll take this return variable. And we're going to paste this inside of here. We're going to decode JSON. And we will need to, oh, so I can paste the text like this, and decode JSON should do the thing. So, so they use it themselves. So we should be able to go in here, discard changes, and we got JSON decode. If I add this in here, decode JSON, it'll add JSON decode, right? So this should do the thing. We got decode. Let's just add a stop and debug here. Maybe that has something to do with how the response is getting shown, because I do think we have some error with parsing the response. We may want to put it in JSON into OpenAI, because it shouldn't look like this, right? If I'm going to call this JSON, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to update the references, and this will be moved up here. If I return this one, right? You see how it formats it? So in here, it does not format it accordingly. So, and my computer is starting to get slow again. Ah, man. Let's quit some applications real quick. This is sad. Okay, so now I think we're back on this. So this is interesting. I got the message, and I'm going to get it as text. So I want actually OpenAI to give me valid JSON. So let's go to the API call, because they do have the ability to give us, actually return JSON. So structured JSON, no other JSON, and we're just going to add JSON. And now inside of here, we're going to just paste the JSON. And I'm going to put this inside of here, and I'm going to apply. And I think we may need to wrap this in a variable a few times to get it all set up. But let's show this. Let's remove the JSON decode on this. Let's save this. And let's reload Xano, because like I think I got some things. Maybe it's the images, maybe it's this website, maybe it's OpenAI. How about we close OpenAI? Because something is going on here with my memory on my computer that is not doing it's not doing a good job here. But let's try running this again, because we're not doing complex computational stuff here, and I got nothing much really opened. Maybe I gotta update my Chrome. That could be. But let's try disabling this variable here, and let's go to stop and debug, and let's run this. Oh, I can now move, and I'm not laggy. That's good. Okay, we're going to wait, and we're going to see what we're going to get back. We're going to get this back as a string. That's good. And it seems like actually it does cut some things up, and it doesn't provide us a good format. And you see it as actually stringified. So can we copy JSON parse? Let's go to JSON parse website, JSON online parser. I think it's actually Google. Oh, proxy firewall timed out. Okay, JSON parse online. Let's paste this in here. And you see how it got cut off. So actually, I think we're going to reach, we're reaching token limits. That's why we can't properly parse it. So let's go to the AI inside of here. And we're just going to extend the tokens. Let's do like 3,000. There you go. And then let's keep running this. Let's run this again, and let's see what we're getting back. It seems my performance is getting better whenever I'm going to run a Xano API. That's the power of Xano. Take a look at that. There you go. Let's wait a little bit. It's creating all the macros. And this looks good. And it did close it, and we see it is stringified. So let's go to JSON. Let's just go and add an update variable here, because I think maybe it will probably parse it better if we kind of like have it in a separate operation. So I can take the existing variable, JSON, and I'm going to take the current JSON variable, and I'm going to add filter, JSON decode. I'm going to apply, I'm going to save, and then we will run this, and we will try and see what is happening if we're now going to return JSON inside of here. And now, as you can see, we got this parsed as JSON. So it seems that the issue that's going on here is that when we do this only one variable, there is a parsing error in Xano, which actually I had a few times. So let's publish this, because my computer is getting laggy again, even though I got the new MacBook Air. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten the Air. But we'll try that. Okay, so now we got this all inside of here, and this is nice, and we're now parsing everything properly, so I can delete some of our helpers here, like the stop and debug, and oh wow, this is very slow. Let's delete that function inside of here, and we're now returning the JSON after we have updated inside of here. So it seemed like it had that issue if we did it in one step, but if we do an update variable, which sometimes it's just the way it is. So when I run this now here, this API, oh, we do have a file input required. I think we got some memory leaks somewhere in here. That is very weird because it is so slow. Could also be because it's hot and my computer is directly in the sun, to be fair. And we're going to see we get no macros because I think we uploaded a photo of a forest, but we do have it properly parsed. That is important because we need this as JSON. So now, how do we get the image inside of here? I will tell you this after I closed Chrome. You know what it was? I was working on a Chrome extension, and it seemed that it was just loading in the background and taking all the memory. So that was it. I just deinstalled the Chrome extension I was working on. And take a look. I'm not laggy. There you go. So now we can just add a function, unless I have another Chrome extension or a Safari extension that's running in the background. You never know. But what we want to do is we want to take this file resource, that is the input, and want to turn it into a photo. And we can do this by creating image metadata. So I can create image metadata. The value will be the file resource, and let's call this metadata. I can save this, and I can drag this all the way up here. And let's add a stop and debug to this so we can take a look at how this looks. And then we need to construct a file URL that we can send to the server. So inside of here, now this is where I need to start getting images of food. Okay, so for that, I will need to go on Google. Food, fast food. What we need to do is, let's take that. Oh, I can't drag it. My computer is getting bad. Again. Okay, I just need to. Just let me drag this. Let me drag this here. Okay, I got the image. It seems that Google is the issue, or something is wrong in Chrome. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so, but now we got that image, so I can upload that image inside of Xano here. And I can move this, and I can open it. There you go. So now, when we run this inside of here, we can see that we're getting this image path, right? And we get this path, and now we need to construct this into a URL. Now we can just go to create URL for this, and we can call this image underscore URL. And we now need to take our Xano server URL. That's the URL actually that the Xano dashboard runs on, because Xano runs on your own server. So we just need to remove the slash at the end. We're going to add a concatenate filter for that. We're going to add a concatenate filter. We're going to go to the metadata property. We need to take the path. And we don't need to have any separator. We're going to apply to this. And now to stop and debug, let's have that one return. Let's have that one return the image URL. We're going to save this. We're going to run this again. And now we're getting an image URL. And we can paste this inside of here. And we're going to see we got that image now hosted. So now with this image URL being accessible to us from the file upload, we can go to the API that we're calling inside of here. And we can go to the part where we're passing on that image URL. And we can now bind this with the image URL variable. So now we're getting the dynamic input. And now we're getting the output. So the whole system is now in place. If I run this with this image input of the chicken tenders, we would be getting a response of the macros of it that is somewhat accurate. And there you go. We got protein, 65 grams, carbohydrates, 35. That is not... That whole thing is not 35, but okay. Looks like 150 or so, but there you go. We got sugar, I don't think there's 1 gram sugar in it. Complex carbs, net carbs, fats. Okay, that seems accurate. Saturated 17. Okay, that can be true. It may not be recognizing how big of a bucket that will be, because it's a $45 bucket. But there's even some copper in it, some zinc, some vitamins. There are vitamins in it, like vitamin C, like 1 milligram. Okay, so we get this back. How accurate it is, we don't know. I mean, we would have to take a look at, some of their stuff. We may want to enable like Google search when we do this, so I can look up the brand names and kind of like do that, because OpenAI provides that ability for their API. I think I need to reload Xano again because my browser's getting slow again. Oh, there you go. Okay, I think we're good. So now what we're doing though is when we create this image attachment data, we're storing it in our Xano database, and we're more precisely storing it in our media storage. That media storage costs money, and we don't want to jank it up. And we don't need this image anymore after we did this API call. So what we can implement is we can go inside of here, we can go to delete file resource. Delete file resource from file storage. This will now delete the file from our server, the file from our database, that from our media storage. So if I go to metadata properties and I go to the path and I save this, now we're creating this file link, which now will store this image, but we want to get rid of the image once the API is done. So now we'll store the image temporary on Xano. We're going to use it for the API call. Then we're going to, respond what we need to respond. And then when the API is done, we're going to delete the image because we won't need it anymore, because why should we pay for storage, right? So now we can publish this, and now we can run this again, and I can upload my image, and it's going to be very glitchy. And I can run this again, and now we get the whole API working. It's calculating all the macros, all the micronutrients, everything, and then it will give you the structured JSON data that can be rendered by your front-end tool of choice, Toddle, Flutterflow, WeWeb, whatever you want to do. I also love that it always gives me a new protein count every time I run it. So how accurate this is, again, this depends on your model. You may want to enable web search, you want to have a maybe like a lookup training database, but it is a cool feature and a cool little gimmick, right, that is available and that you can technically set up, and they'll make a cool, fun app. So this is how you can use Vision inside of, OpenAI for ChatGPT 4.1 Vision. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to, get help with your hardest roadblocks inside of Xano, if you're held back by some of those things, I would highly suggest you to take a look at nocodeprogo.com. It is the community that I have created to help you make progress faster and better inside of your, no-code application, because it's always the last 10% that's holding you back. So if you feel something is holding you back, you're limited by some of those features, definitely take a look at joining, because we're going to focus on make sure that we can overcome those roadblocks, overcome those obstacles, and help you make progress way faster. And now I think I gotta rest my computer for today, because it's about to crash. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that, and hopefully see you in the next video. Take care, and thank you so much for watching.